All right. Hey, happy Sunday. I hope you guys had an awesome day. I hope that you get to spend time with family, friends, or just by yourself relaxing. And, you know, today's just a great day. I was just talking with a couple of friends, and, a lot of people go to church. A lot of people do family things on Sunday. And, some people just, it's their day to give gratitude, you know, gratitude for the things that have happened during the week that led up to today. And then, of course, the gratitude of, what's going to happen this coming week. So hopefully you guys are giving gratitude out there, for the things that are happening. And, like I said, what happened 90 days ago is the results that you're getting today. So think about what you did 90 days ago is the result of what you're getting today is in, returns in the work that you did 90 days ago. If you were doing some prospecting, if you did some sales, if you did, business planning 90 days ago, it's coming into fruition now because it usually takes about 90 days to kick in and give you effects. So tonight's talk is actually about excuses. All right. Um, and let me change this real quick. I'm going to do that. So I picked excuses because they're like buttholes. Everybody has one. All right. And they all stink. So I had to keep it clean. I know Jamie's listening and stuff like that, but think about it. Everybody's got an excuse and they all stink. They're just, I got this, I got that. Um, people make excuses all the time why they can't be somewhere or be on a call or be at a meeting. There's just always excuses, and I actually had an interview this week on another podcast, and the gentleman and I were talking, and he was saying, what if somebody came up to you and said, hey, I really want to be a leader. What you're saying is great. It sounds good. I can do it, but I can't do it at this time because I got a family, I got a mortgage, I got XYZ. And I said, and he goes, what do you say to that person? And I was like, well, first of all, they might as well just stop right there, turn off the podcast, because in their mind, they've already shut themselves out. They've already made their excuses and they're listening to that excuse. So if you're already thinking that, you might as well just stop listening, stop, being part of it, because you've already counted yourself out. You've given yourself the excuses, and and the only person that can really do that is you. You count yourself out. You make that excuse, you say it in your mind, and then you usually say it out loud. Or that's why a lot of people say, oh, I want to do that, but all right, that but renegades everything that you just said. Think about it. In when you compliment somebody, you're saying, oh, your hair looks so beautiful, but it just deletes everything you just said. And so the same thing in excuses. I want to be a leader, I want to be a business entrepreneur, I want to do this, but so you're automatically deleting everything you want to do. And then here's the thing is, when you say that but, it's like your brain automatically deletes everything it just heard. So now it's not even listening except to the negative remarks that you're giving yourself, those excuses. And here's the thing: I can't change your mind. You count yourself out because you believe in your excuses. And as an example, Mary might be listening to this Zoom call or whatever, and she wants to do all this. She sees that we have this leadership group. She wants to be a leader in her network marketing or her sales team or whatever it is. And she says, oh, I want to do all that, but, and then X, Y, Z, you fill it in, but your head is already filling in those blanks. And like I've said before, a lot of times you can't stop the first thought, but you can stop the second thought that your mind has. All right. And so, there's a lot of people out there. I mean, I was just talking with another guy, and John, and he was just saying, hey, I've got a mortgage, I've got a kid, I want to do all this stuff with you guys. I like your leadership calls, but I can't be on them all the time. And he just started making all these excuses why he could not do it, And I said, well, here's the thing, John, you either do it or you don't. You can make excuses. You got a mortgage, you got kids, you got this, you got soccer practice, and whatever that excuse is. But the thing is there are other people out there with the same situations. There's people on this call right now that have mortgages, that have kids, that have, soccer practice and stuff like that. So the only thing that is different between them and you is they said, instead of saying they can't, they said why they could or they had to succeed. Right? So it's like can't versus why they had to succeed. All right. Most people say they can't do it because of X, Y, Z. The successful people said, no, I'm not going to listen to that. I'm going to figure out why I have to succeed. You have to succeed because you have a mortgage and you got to pay those bills and you got kids and they got braces and school and clothing and things like that. So that should be a huge motivational factor for you on why you should succeed. Okay, so in that example, I use it excuses versus purpose. Do you have excuses or do you have a purpose? So when people ask you, do you want to do this? Do you have an excuse or do you have a purpose? All right, I'm going to let that sink in a little bit. Because most of us, first thing we'll do is think of the excuses, why we can't do something. And I'm telling you that apostrophe T on that word is so deadly. All right. And a lot of you guys know that I remove specific words out of my vocabulary. And it was because I was in a mastermind and words transform you. Words have purpose. And so in our mastermind, we remove the T word, the try word, because you do it or you don't. It's just like they can't or the apostrophe T. You just remove that. I can do this. I will do this. I must do this. Okay? So I had an example I was writing down. Basically, it was really, people really want to do this, ... and then they make their excuses. And of course, everybody has a million excuses. It's whether or not you listen to those excuses. Most people will come up with reasons why they can't, and you just have to shift your mindset on why you can do this. Okay. There's a quote that I've heard several times, and it is, I can't, therefore I must. Okay, think about that. I can't, therefore I must. So basically they're saying they can't do it for these reasons, which is the reason why I have to figure it out and why I will do it. Okay? There's so many excuses, and I could make excuses why I couldn't do the training tonight. All right, I'm here. I got my munchkin. I've got all these other things going on. But the thing is, it's like I've committed to do these trainings. There isn't an excuse on why I won't do it. It's how am I going to do it? How am I going to get it done? And finding out the way, because there are more ways to get it done than there are ways of not getting it done. So stop making excuses. Figure out ways to change your wording to overcome it. All right. Just like I said, on the word can't, just get an eraser, and erase the apostrophe T, and think about it when you're talking to people, the word try, remove that from your vocabulary. Watch how hard, and I know April's on here as well, and she's practicing this, and it's hard. But once you learn to remove that word, like try, from your vocabulary, you hear it from other people and you go, oh my goodness, so many people use that word. It's like an F-bomb going off in your head. Just like the word can't. If you get rid of the apostrophe T, you will actually start hearing how many people use that word out there. Because if you remove it from your vocabulary, it's just like removing negative people from your sphere, from your circle. If you've got a lot of negative people all the time, what happens to you? You become negative. You become moody and testy and things like that. But once you surround yourself with positive, uplifting, motivated people, you become happier, your environment's better, and things like that. So think about it as words are just the same as your circle of friends. The words you say, the words you use impact you every day. All right. So it would be just the same as if somebody, said, hey, here's a wall in front of you, and you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, there's this 40-foot wall I have to climb. Okay. So most people will go, oh, there's no way I can climb that. It's too tall. There's nothing there to help me. Instead of changing their mindset and saying, I'm going to figure out how to climb the wall. I'm going to figure this out. And here's the thing. If you keep telling yourself that you're going to figure it out, or you, instead of using the excuses, but come up with a purpose, come up with a reason why you should succeed, why you should complete this, your mind starts going to that direction. Just like hanging out with the negative friends and the positive friends. You hang out with the right group, you'll start attracting and start going that direction. Why? Because it's a lot easier. It's a lot smoother. It has more results. Okay, so change your mind. There's nothing that's going to hold you back once you change your mind and you sit there and you focus on it. But stop using the apostrophe T. Stop using the T word. In my house, we removed the N-O from our vocabulary because we don't want our munchkin hearing the word no all the time. You hear it so many times out there in society. I can't remember the statistic. It's like kids from the age 0 to 7 hear no over 10,000 times. And why do you think they stop dreaming? Why do you think they stop imagining? Why do you think they stop being kids? Because they're told, no, you can't do this. No, don't talk like that. No, don't do this. No, don't do that. Oh, it's too hot. Don't touch that. And so we jump on them instead of using different verbiage. My munchkin, oh, I want that dessert. Well, instead of saying no, I'll just say, well, maybe we'll have it another day. Or not right now. Can I watch TV? Let's do something else instead of no. Or instead of, when they're reaching up to touch the stove, instead of saying no, oh, that's hot, be careful. Or grab their hand and just say, hey, feel the heat. This is why we don't want you reaching up there. You have to change your verbiage. Your verbiage, think about this. What is the strongest muscle in the body? It's your tongue. And your tongue actually, per pound per square inch, is the strongest muscle in your body. So if it is the strongest muscle in your body, and you've all heard this, it can build up men and tear down cities. Why? Because the words you say, the words you use affect everybody, and they affect you. Why? Because you talk to yourself more than anybody else. So stop making excuses. It's easier to get over the fear and challenge yourself and do it than it is there to sit there and come up with the excuses. So one of the things that I said, or I wrote down, was I'm going to do this, and here are the reasons why. All right. So when people say, hey, would you like to do this? In your mind, you should go, I am going to do this, and here are the reasons why. Come up with the reasons why. Don't come up with the, ooh, I don't have the money, or I don't have the time. It's just like this call. We've been doing this call for almost 2 months now, all right? And there have been people that have been committed to being on this call. It's a choice. You either decide, I'm going to be a leader, I'm going to get this training, or, okay, I'm going to go and do this. Now, I understand there's always family things to do and stuff like that, but if you commit to being somewhere or doing something, you need to be there. I would say more, at least 80% or more at that. Like our mastermind. We have a mastermind, and I'm going to create one in this group. The thing is our mastermind, we did it every single week, every Tuesday at 7:25, and you were committed to being there 80% of the time. All right? And that was because we knew that mastermind was going to help us. It was going to grow us, and it was going to give us the connections and take our businesses, or even create businesses that we had never thought of. All right? Because we are surrounding ourselves with positive, uplifting, successful business people that think outside of the box, that think different. So I challenge you guys to stop making excuses. Last night I was sitting there with my daughter, and we were watching Meet the Robins. How many of you guys have ever watched Meet the Robins? Anybody out there watch Meet the Robins? If you haven't, you need to go and watch that cartoon. It's a I don't know if it's a Pixar movie or a Disney. Actually, it might be Disney. But on the Robins, this kid is left at a foster home, and so he is very creative. He likes to build things and create things and stuff. And long story short, he actually goes into the future and meets his family, and has to fix some stuff. But he basically changed how things were done, and his whole motto for the whole thing was, keep moving forward. All right, keep moving forward. And I actually did a screenshot of the TV, because at the end of the movie there was a quote, and it says, around here, however, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things, because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. Keep moving forward. You know who said that? Walt Disney. So I challenge you guys to keep moving forward. Keep being positive. Stop making excuses on why you can or can't do something. Think of why you can do that. Words are so important to me. Like I said, I've removed words from my vocabulary. I have chosen not to use certain words because they are crippling words and stuff. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen this DVD, The Hidden Messages in Water. Any of you guys seen that? So I might have to put this, I might have to download this and put this in this group. But this Japanese scientist, Masaru Omouto, basically said that words are power. Words are powerful. And so what they did was they took a glass of water. They took 2 glasses of water and they wrote words on the water on the on the glasses, and then they froze them. Okay, and so the first glass they wrote love, peace, um, uh, attraction, Mother Teresa, and all these positive words, and put it on this glass, wrote it all around, and then froze it. And then on the second glass, they put like Hitler and negativity and hateful and you know just negative words, and froze that glass. And then what the scientists did is they took the glass and pulled out the water and sliced it into thin slices and put it under a microscope. And what they noticed was, because of the words, the water crystals were different from the negative and the positive. The one that had Mother Teresa and love and peace and attraction and help and support, all the crystals were perfectly crystallized. There was no broken crystals. They were all free, real nice crystals. But the one that had hate and Hitler and things like that, they looked under the microscope and they were all free radicalized. They were all crystallized. They were all sporadic all over the place. And so they started doing more tests. And so if you have seen some of the people, they buy water jugs that have affirmations on them. Okay. And so I was actually talking with somebody about, if it's that good on water, what about, the things that we wear all the time? All right. Our clothing, is that important? Because think about it. How many of us wear clothing that might look cool, but it's not really a positive affirmation or a positive wording and stuff? So I'm actually working with somebody right now to create some clothing line that is rolled around this group, as in warrior, leadership, hustle, legendary, legacy, things like that. And we're going to create some really cool clothing that you guys can wear that will put positive spins on your day, on how people see you. And I'm working on this blind test study with somebody else to prove that your clothing is just as important as your water, as important as your thoughts. Okay? So hopefully that was some nuggets of information. Hopefully you guys got something out of that. There is one thing I'm going to do. Any of you guys read this book? Tony Robbins? Money Master the Game, 7 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom. I'm actually going to be doing a contest this month. The contest will probably come out tomorrow, and it's all about taking action. It's going to be the way you can win this book. All right, somebody's going to win this, and guess what? It's autographed by Tony himself. All right, so I'm going to have a contest this month, so somebody will win this book. All right, and I know this is not a cheap book too. I think it's like a $40 book. No, it's it's like $30 just for this book. So what we're gonna do is the contest will come out March 1st. So for the month of March, we're gonna have a contest to see who steps up as a leader, who wants to win an autographed book by Tony himself. And we're gonna crush it and have fun and help other people be leaders out there. I see somebody raising their hand. Can't means won't. My coach used to tell me that. Just I always just say remove the apostrophe T. So we actually have a special guest coming on Wednesday. Uh, let's see, who is it? I got so many people coming, I can't even keep track now. It's Richard Brocchini. Richard is not only a chief firefighter here in San Diego, he is a best-selling author. He actually owns a coffee company. He sells coffee beans to huge restaurants and hotel chains and things like that, and a proceed of the money that's made is given back to the injured firefighters and things like that. So I'm really stoked to have him come and speak. He spoke on several stages with high-end speakers like Les Brown, Brian Tracy, and things as well. So I hope you guys carve out an hour of your time on Wednesday to be there. But I also hope that you will bring some people to the Zoom call. All right. And you guys all have the link. It's the same link. Nothing's changed. If it does, I'll let you know. But Lisa is looking up the Robinsons. She's actually looking at the cartoon. All right. So anyways, so, if there's somebody that you know that is a firefighter, somebody that supports a firefighter, somebody that loves coffee, you definitely want to get them on here. Share the Zoom link. They do not have to be in our leadership group to be on this one. I just want people to see what we're doing, how we're training, and the nuggets of information. And then if they decide they can be part of our warrior training group, we're going to be adding stuff inside of the group that other people aren't going to get. So hopefully that excites you. I hope you guys had a great day, because some of you guys look tired. They're just like, oh man, So like I say, guys, keep smiling. You never know whose world you're going to change. Here's the thing is, guys, if you're sitting there listening, you guys, believe it or not, a lot of times the speakers will feed off of how you are on the videos. So if you're sitting there like that, I look for somebody in the crowd, and I'll find somebody that's smiling, like Michelle, or, well, Keith never smiles. He's always got food in his mouth. But I'll look for somebody like Jackie. She's smiling and stuff like that. So I will key on that person while I'm speaking, because they raise my energy. They raise my bar. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for smiling. So smile. You never know whose world you're going to change, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I'm actually going to stop the recording.